Hey babes, happy Fibroid Awareness Month. This week I thought I'd do a super helpful video on how to help reduce period pain. Now, if you're someone who deals with fibroids or heavy bleeding, make sure you stay tuned for this video. Make sure you like, make sure you are subscribed so that you'll get more, so that you can see more videos like this. And if you're new around here, I'm Shantae, a fibroid survivor, a fibroid thriver. I still haven't figured out the most empowering phrase, but I have been able to successfully manage fibroids without having surgery and even shrink some of the fibroids that I have. And so today I'm going to share some tips with you for dealing with period pain and pain from fibroids. And before I jump into this, I do want to say that nothing that I'm sharing here is medical advice. These are just tips and things that have helped me avoid period pain for years. So some of these tips will probably actually surprise you, or they may not be things that you've heard before. But I really suggest that you try all of these tips. All of them are easy to implement, and have been super helpful for me and consistently keep me pain free every month. So, my first tip for reducing pain before your period, and this is one of the ones that might surprise you, is to actually reduce cold drinks and cold foods and raw foods. So, now, this principle is based on Eastern medicine. Probably, if you're watching this video and you're Asian, you're probably very familiar with this. I only consume room temperature or hot drinks right before my period. Yes, I know. Even in the summer, in the heat of Texas, I keep my drinks room temperature or warm. My second tip is to cut the caffeine. And I know that this is very difficult because usually right before your period, you probably are feeling a drop in energy. You may be a little bit lethargic. And so it feels right to reach for caffeine during that time. So if you are drinking a large amount of caffeine before your period, I would recommend that you cut your intake in half. In general, I would recommend that you gradually start reducing your intake if you are drinking, more than 1 cup of coffee or caffeinated teas. Um, I recommend that you start kind of cutting back, but especially right before your period. Now, my only exception to this, and this is a little bit controversial, but my exception to this is green tea, and whether that be matcha or like the green tea leaves. And the only reason why I give that an exception is because green tea has actually been shown to be helpful for fibroids. My third tip is to try magnesium baths or even a magnesium spray. And you can do this your entire cycle, not just right before your period, but I ramp it up like right before, the week before, because I find it to be super helpful. And magnesium has been shown to be helpful with reducing muscle spasms or relaxing your muscles. And so that's why it likely helps with cramps that are related to painful periods. And so one thing that I like to do is either magnesium bath or Epsom salt bath. Another thing you can do is use a magnesium spray or a magnesium oil, or I think they even make lotions too that you can rub on your feet. Sometimes I'll rub them on my belly, or with the spray, I'll spray my belly button with it. And I recommend doing this at night so that it can help you have better sleep too. My fourth tip is kind of up there with the first tip. It's actually to keep your feet covered. And so I do this because it helps to keep warmth in the body. It actually, so I was actually so this is another thing that I was taught by the acupuncturists that I used to see, is to keep your feet covered, to keep warmth in the uterus. And I know these might sound crazy with the socks and the avoiding raw food. or cold food, but I promise you guys, it can really help reduce your period pain. My fifth tip is not necessarily as much around pain, but it really helps to reduce fatigue when you eat blood building foods. And so that includes berries, that includes warming soups and stews. Even grass fed red meat can be helpful if you're someone who deals with anemia, which is likely if you have fibroids. It can really help to kind of offset some of the blood that you lose with the heavy bleeding. But also with these foods like the berries and the grass fed beef, you're actually going to get a lot of nutrients too that you might be, or minerals that might be depleted when you start menstruating. So I hope you guys found these helpful. Let me know in the comments which one you plan to try, or if you already use any of these tricks to help you have better periods. Let me know that in the comments. But also make sure you're liked, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you share this with somebody else who might be dealing with painful periods or even fibroids. And so if this is the content that you like to see, I actually have some more videos here that you might like.